How are you?
Yeah, so.
Good. Thank you. All right, good afternoon. Can I be heard at the jail?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. And Your Honor, we have two privates here also.
Thank you. All right, we'll begin with the interpreter cases.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Christopher Bansko, State Certified Court Interpreter for UC Moore.
Good afternoon. This is Judge Derenfeld, and we are about to begin initial appearances. All right. If I can have counsels announce your appearance on the record, beginning with the state and then with the defense and pretrial.
Justin Collins, on behalf of the state of Florida.
Tell me your last name again.
Collins.
Thank you.
Janelle Clark on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
Thank you. All right. When the court calls your name, approach the podium.
Bien, cuando se le llame por su nombre, acérquese al pod.
I will confirm your name and your date of birth.
Y confirmaré su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento.
Address any charges.
Le vamos a decir de qué es que se le acusa.
And bond as appropriate.
Y le dejaremos saber qué derechos tiene.
Jonathan Andrino Moran.
Jonathan Andrino Morán.
25 CT 2350 PD approved.
25-7-23-15.
Your name and date of birth?
Nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
Jonathan Andrés Andrino Mirón.
Jonathan Andrés Moran.
And your date of birth?
Fecha de nacimiento.
5 de mayo de 1998.
May 5th, 1988.
Thank you. Court appoints the public defender to represent you.
Bien, el juzgador le designará a la oficina de los defensores públicos para que les representen.
You're here on one charge of operating a vehicle without a valid driver's license, and the court does find probable cause.
Le acusan de haber manejado un vehículo de motor sin ser titular de licencia válida y determinó que usted reúne los requisitos para designarle defensor público.
Bond is stayed at 500 with the condition that you not drive a vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Ratificaré la fianza en $500 con la siguiente condición. Prohibido manejar un vehículo de motor a menos que tenga licencia válida. Gracias.
Next court date, July 3rd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B. If out on bond, July 21, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
La próxima audiencia se va a celebrar el 3 de julio a las 8:30 en la sala 4B, pero si se encuentra en libertad bajo fianza, entonces será el 21 de julio a las 8:30 en 4B.
Asiel Diaz Valadares.
23 CF 3249, PD approved.
Caso 23 CF 3249 ya se le había previamente designado a la oficina de los defensores públicos.
Name and date of birth?
Nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
Asiel Díaz Valladares, 0606 del 89.
Jaciel Díaz 060686
89.
89.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Court appoints the public defender to represent you. You're here on a violation of probation affidavit. Probable cause has been determined for
Bien.
that violation, and there is no bond for that.
Bien, le designaré la oficina de los defensores públicos. Usted se encuentra aquí porque le acusan de haber incumplido con su régimen de libertad a prueba y determinó que hay indicios de criminalidad para apoyar esa acusación y se le impondrá prisión preventiva, no fianza.
Next court date, June 30th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4F.
La próxima audiencia se celebrará el 30 de junio a las 8:30 en la sala 4F.
Thank you.
Ricardo Molina Badazarte.
Two cases, 24 CT 3562 and 24 CT 3566. No PDF found. NOA was filed.
Caso 47, 3562 y 3566. No tenemos solicitud de defensores públicos.
Is there private counsel at the jail?
¿Acaso es que hay un abogado privado en la cárcel?
Yes, Your Honor, but not for Mr. Molina.
Sí, su señoría.
Yes, Your Honor, but not for the defendant.
Sí, su señoría, hay abogado privado, pero no para el acusado.
Yes. All right, sir, it appears from the court file that you do have an attorney on record, but they're not here in the courtroom today.
Señora, al parecer, con respecto al expediente de su caso, que usted tiene un abogado, pero no se encuentra aquí presente en el día de hoy.
Ok. No sé
English.
qué.
Ok.
Do you wish to proceed with the hearing today?
¿Aún desea proceder con la audiencia en el día de hoy?
Sí, porque yo quisiera saber qué va a pasar conmigo.
Yes, because I'd like to know what's going to happen with me.
All right, sir, you're here on 2 bench warrants issued by Judge John Savage for your failure to appear.
Bien, señor, usted se encuentra aquí porque la juez Jansevich emitió 2 órdenes de arresto.
Probable cause for both has been determined.
Se ha determinado que hay indicios de criminalidad para apoyar cada arresto.
And in light of the failures to appear, there is no bond for either.
Y con respecto a la incomparecencia judicial, se le impuso prisión preventiva.
Next court date, July 15, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
La próxima audiencia se va a celebrar el 15 de julio a las 8:30 en la sala 4B.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Bring back Mr. Molina Barzarte.
Sí, señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
The court notes that at the time of the
I apologize, Your Honor. The interpreter could not catch that. Is there a way to mute the jail?
Your Honor, if I may,
You may.
I don't know if you were going to revoke his bond or not, but there is a rule, I can't cite it right now, where if the defendant has a private, and they know the name, the jail has a responsibility to try to call that private to allow them to show. So if that would make
Señoría,
it. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Su señoría, se me permite, su señoría, yo no sé si usted le iba a revocar la fianza o no, pero sé que hay una regla, no se la puedo citar en este momento, pero si conoce que el acusado tiene un abogado privado, tenemos el derecho de comunicarnos con ese abogado antes de proceder.
Thank you, counsel.
Gracias, licenciada.
Court does note the case 2024 CT 5457, but at this time is taking no action on that.
Sí, en este momento, con respecto al caso 5457, no vamos a tomar acción.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gracias, su señoría.
One moment. Francisco Garcia Luhani.
Two cases, 24 CT 5229 and 24 CT 5230, PD approved.
Bien, en el caso 24, CT 5229 y 5230 se le ha designado defensor público.
Your name and date of birth, sir.
Nombre y fecha de nacimiento, señor.
2702 del 89.
Señor, no le escuché, repita.
2702 del 89.
270889.
All right, sir, you're here on two bench warrants that were issued both by Judge Savage for your failure to appear.
Señor, usted se encuentra aquí por la juez Jansevich, emitió 2 órdenes de arresto en su contra por su incomparecencia judicial.
In case 2024 CT 5229, the bonds will remain at $3,000. Probable cause has been determined.
En el caso 24CT5229, la fianza será ratificada en $3,000 y se determina que hay indicios de criminalidad para apoyar su arresto.
In case 2024 CT 5230, bonds will remain at $2,000 and probable cause has been determined.
En el caso 24CT5230, les ratificará la fianza en $2,000 y hay indicios de criminalidad necesarios para apoyar su acusación.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Next court date, July 3rd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B. If out on bond, July 21, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
La próxima audiencia se celebrará el 3 de julio a las 8:30 en la sala 4B, pero si se encuentra en libertad bajo fianza, será entonces el 21 de julio a las 8:30 en la sala 4B.
Almacar Mateo Lopez.
25 CT 2355, PD approved.
Mateo Lopez.
Mateo López, caso 25CT335.
Your name and date of birth?
Nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
Amílcar Mateo López, el 4/30/99.
Almícar Mateo López, 4/30/1999.
Court appoints the public defender to represent you. You're here on one charge of operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, and the court does find probable cause.
Bien, le designaré la oficina de los defensores públicos para que le representen. Le acusan de haber manejado un vehículo de motor sin ser titular de licencia válida y determinó que hay indicios de criminalidad para apoyar su arresto.
Bonds will remain at $500 with the condition that you not drive any vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Se ratificará la fianza en $500 con la siguiente condición: prohibido manejar un vehículo de motor a menos que tenga licencia válida.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Next court date, July 3rd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B. If out on bond, July 11, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E.
La próxima audiencia se celebrará el 3 de julio a las 8:30 en la sala 4B, pero si se encuentra en libertad bajo fianza, entonces sería el 11 de julio a las 8:30 en la sala 4E.
Edward Rodriguez Torrealba.
25 CT 2357, PD approved.
Caso 25CT 2357.
Your name and date of birth, sir?
Señor, nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
Eduardo Alejandro Rodríguez Torrealba. 01-18-1997.
Edward Rodriguez Torres 010897.
One more time with your date of birth, sir?
Una vez más, su fecha de nacimiento, señor.
01-18-1997.
01897. I apologize, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Court appoints the public defender to represent you. Sir, you're here on one charge of operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, and the court does find probable cause.
Bien, le designaré la oficina de los defensores públicos y usted se encuentra aquí, señor, porque le acusan de haber manejado un vehículo de motor sin tener licencia válida y determino que hay indicios de criminalidad para apoyar su arresto.
Bonds will remain at 500 with the condition that you not drive or operate a vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Ratificaré la fianza en $500 con la siguiente condición: prohibido guiar o manejar un vehículo de motor a menos que tenga licencia válida.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Next court date, July 3rd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B. If out on bond, July 11, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E.
La próxima audiencia se celebrará el 3 de julio a las 8:30 en la sala 4B, pero si se encuentra en libertad bajo fianza, entonces sería el 11 de julio a las 8:30 en la sala 4E.
I do believe that concludes all of the interpreter cases, but if you could just please make an announcement to confirm that.
Of course, Your Honor. Si alguien más aquí presente en la cárcel requiere los servicios del intérprete en español, por favor, indíquelo en este momento.
I see one hand, Your Honor. I'm going to call him forward.
If we can get a name.
Edwin Nieves. He is the added charges, Your Honor. And I have a PC argument for that one.
I need a last name. I didn't hear that.
I'm sorry. Nieves Rivera.
Can you spell it?
Rivera. Rivera.
It's a new piece.
One moment. Nieves Rivera.
Yes, Your Honor.
Les Rivera.
Twenty-five CF 1945, PD approved.
25 CF 1945 se le había designado previamente a la oficina de los defensores públicos.
Your name and date of birth, sir?
Señor, dígame su nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
Edwin Nieves Rivera, 330 de 1974.
Edwin Nieves Rivera, 33074.
Court appoints the public defender to represent you.
Bien, el juzgado le va a designar la oficina de los defensores públicos para que les representen.
You're here on one charge of burglary of an auto or other conveyance unoccupied.
Le acusan de haber cometido entrada ilícita con fines delictivos en un auto o morada ajena que no estaba ocupada.
Go ahead with your probable cause argument, counsel.
Licenciada, adelante con su argumento de indicios de criminalidad.
Yes, Your Honor. Under statute 810.02, it requires entry. And within the four corners of the affidavit, it says Edwin pulls the driver's side handle but was unable to gain entry into the vehicle. It goes on to say Edwin opened the victim's driver's door, side door, in an attempt to gain entry into the vehicle, but he was interrupted by the victim's husband, Your Honor. And in order for there to be a burglary, you must have entry. We would ask that you find no PC, Your Honor.
Sí, su señoría, bajo la regla 8102.02 hay un requisito de que entre al vehículo y en en las cuatro esquinas de la affidavit. Aquí Edwin intentó de abrir la puerta del vehículo, pero no logró entrar. Entonces trató de abrir la otra puerta, pero el esposo de la víctima le interrumpió. Por lo tanto, solicitamos que usted no determine que hay indicios de criminalidad.
Response from the state, Mr. Khan?
Your Honor,
La respuesta de la fiscalía.
I'll concede there's no PC for a burglary. However, I would argue there is PC for an attempted burglary, which is a lesser included offense of burglary. Had it not been the owner's interactions, the defendant would have completed the burglary basically, and that's laid out in the four corners of the affidavit, and it's also written as an attempted burglary in it, basically. So I'd ask you to find PC of an attempted burglary, Your Honor.
Su señoría, no tenemos ningún tipo de argumento con respecto a la entrada ilícita, pero sí determinamos que usted encuentre que hay indicios de criminalidad para la tentativa de entrada ilícita con fines delictivos, que es un delito subsumido. Si no fuera por las acciones del esposo de la víctima, el señor Nieves hubiera completado esto. Por lo tanto, bajo las cuatro esquinas de la affidavit solicitamos que usted determine que hay indicios de criminalidad para la tentativa.
Any response?
¿Alguna respuesta?
Yes, Your Honor, we would ask for an ROR on this charge. If you are inclined to set a bond, we would ask that it be in a reasonable amount, Your Honor. For the lower charge, and I'm assuming that's under statute 777.04.
Sí, su señoría, solicitamos que se le conceda la libertad bajo ocasión juratoria y si le está inclinada a imponerle una fianza que sea una fianza razonable bajo la regla 777.04.
The court does find probable cause for the lesser included of attempted burglary.
Determina que hay indicios de criminalidad por el delito subsumido de tentativa de entrada ilícita con fines delictivos.
And it sets bond at $2,500.
Y le impondré fianza de $2,500.
With the conditions that there be no return to the scene,
Con la siguiente condición, prohibido regresar al lugar de los hechos.
no contact with the victim or any witnesses,
Prohibido el contacto con los testigos y las víctimas del caso.
no possession of any weapons or firearms.
Y prohibida la tenencia de armas de fuego y armas blancas.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Next court date on demand.
La próxima audiencia sería por señalamiento judicial.
All right. Any other Spanish interpreter cases?
¿Algún otro caso que necesite la asistencia de los intérpretes en español?
I see no hands, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
Mark Douglas.
Out of county Polk, CF 25003617.
He refused, Your Honor. We'd waive his appearance as it's an out of county.
All right. Appearance has been waived by counsel for Mr. Mark Douglas. Mr. Douglas was picked up on an out-of-county warrant out of Polk with respect to violation of probation. There is no bond for that. Crystal Cook.
25MM987, PD approved.
He's approaching, Your Honor. Okay, one second. Your Honor, there may be an issue of identity with this particular warrant. It's the individual we have here has a different birth date and a different driver's license from a totally different state.
Okay.
The name is correct, but the other things are not correct.
Ma'am, your name and date of birth, please?
July 23rd, 1987.
You broke up. One more time?
July 23rd, 1987.
And your name?
It's Crystal Cook.
And Your Honor, she says, just so you know, that her driver's license is in custody here at the jail and it has the correct birth date. And it's obviously from a different state, but it would verify her birth date.
I can get confirmation from pretrial regarding the birth date on record.
Your Honor, as far as the charging affidavit, we have July 22nd, 1987.
One moment.
Yeah, sorry. And that is the date of birth that the defendant provided.
No, I picked up on the 23rd.
Don't interrupt.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, that is the date that's on the warrant.
Thank you. Your middle name?
No.
Do you have a middle name?
No. My name's Crystal Cook, not Nicole.
No middle name, Your Honor.
That's the problem.
We'll recall it. Thank you.
All right, just have a seat. We're gonna recall it, okay?
Paul Harris.
25 887, PD approved.
Your name and date of birth, sir?
Yeah, Paul Harris, 9788.
Court appoints a public defender to represent you.
Right.
One moment. Let me recall this one at the end as well. Chelsea Hilton.
21 3141, PD approved.
Your name and date of birth?
Chelsea Hilton, 8/17/98.
Court appoints a public defender to represent you, ma'am. You're here on two separate cases. I'm sorry, one case, but two separate failure to appear warrants. Stand corrected. The bench warrants were issued by Judge Sanders Morency, and the court has determined probable cause for the failures to appear on both, and there is no bond for those. Thank you, ma'am.
Next court date, July 3rd, 10:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Jay Capper?
25 CF 1250, no PDF found, NOA filed.
And Brianna Bynum on behalf of Mr. Kepper.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, your name and date of birth?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jay Capper, June 13th, 1980.
All right, sir, you're here on one count of child abuse without great bodily harm under 827.03. The court does find probable cause based on the review of the affidavit.
We do have arguments as to bond, Your Honor.
Go ahead, counsel.
Mr. Kepper has no criminal history. He found out that the warrant was issued for his arrest and flew here yesterday to turn himself in. He's made arrangements with a bondsman. He can be released today. He would be present for all of his court appearances. As the court can see, the original police report came in as a simple battery. Obviously, based on the age of the alleged victim, the state charged it differently, but he would otherwise be entitled to a bond. We're just asking for the court to set bond in a reasonable amount.
Thank you.
Your Honor, as we have not filed any motions such as PTD or an Arthur or anything like that, he'd be entitled to bond. We'd ask, given the facts, court grant him a reasonable amount of bond with the following conditions: no contact with the victim or any witnesses in the case, no contact with any child under the age of 18, no weapons or firearms, and no return to the scene.
Thank you. Court sets bond at 2,000 with the following conditions of release: no contact with the victim, no return to the scene, no possession of any weapons or firearms, and no contact with any witnesses. Is there an additional condition that the state requested?
Yes, Your Honor, I ask for no contact with any children under the age of 18.
Yes, no contact with any children under the age of 18. Thank you for the clarification.
Next court date, August 19, 8:45 a.m., courtroom 5A.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Brian Quintero?
Two cases, 25 CT 2005, 25 CT 2007, no PDF found.
His phone notes only on one. Which one?
DUI 2005. 2005.
20. Yeah. All right, sir, your name and date of birth?
Brian Quintero, February 17, 1988.
All right, sir, I do see that a notice of appearance has been filed in one of the cases. Oh, I didn't look at.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jose Rivas, Judge. We're going to be representing him on both cases. We're just asking for the bond to be stayed as issued by the judge.
Thank you. All right, sir, you're here on two bench warrants related to failures to appear. Both of them were issued by Judge Dorn, and the bonds that are set in each at 2,000 will remain at 2,000. One moment. Thank you.
Next court date for 25 CT 2005, July 29, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. Next court dates for 25 CT 2007, July 3rd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B. If out on bond, July 11, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have. Every excuse. Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you. Cody
Thank you, Your
Boykin?
Honor.
25 CF 1942, PD approved.
Your name and date of birth, sir?
Cody Wayne Boykin, 9193.
Thank you. Court appoints a public defender to represent you. Sir, you're here on one charge of a written or electronic threat to kill. Court does find probable cause based on the affidavit. And does the state wish to be heard?
Yes, you do, Your Honor. Now that you found probable cause, the state is seeking pretrial detention. The motion has been filed. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
We be asked that he held no bond pending the pretrial detention hearing.
Any response?
1 second, Your Honor. I'm just looking up the statute. Your Honor, I just didn't see, oh, never mind, I take that back. I see it as number 26. So we would just ask for the date of the pretrial hearing?
Madam Clerk, when is our next pretrial hearing or pretrial detention hearing?
The hearing will be on June 26, 8:15 a.m., courtroom 4F before Judge Karsten.
Based on the review of the affidavit and the state's motion for pretrial detention, court declines at this time to set bond. Can be addressed at the hearing, which is set for June 26th at 8:15. Yes, setting bond at 0 this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Sharonda Brooks.
25 MM 1529, PD approved.
Your name and date of birth, ma'am?
Sharonda Brooks, 12/30/70.
Court appoints a public defender to represent you. Ma'am, you're here on one charge of petty theft. Court does find probable cause for the charge and stays bond at 500 with the condition that you not return to the Walmart located at 2855 North Old Lake Wilson Road. Thank you.
Next court date on demand.
Your Honor, we would
Okay.
ask if the court could call Mrs. Destasio. It's a Brita Destasio. She's pregnant, having contractions, so we're wondering if it's her.
Bride Destasio.
25 MM 1531, PD approved.
If you don't mind. Okay, somebody's gonna push her over here. 1 second, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. All right, your name and date of birth, then?
Brady Destasio, August 1st, 1995.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the year. One more time.
Brady Destasio, August 1st, 1995.
1995, she said, Your Honor.
Thank you. It cut out at the same moment both times. All right, ma'am, court appoints a public defender to represent you. You're here on 2 charges. The first is assault on a specified personnel, and the second is resisting arrest without violence. And the court does find probable cause for both counts. As to count 1, bond is set at 2,500. As to count 2, bond is stayed at 500 for a total aggregate of 3,000, with the condition that you not possess any weapons or firearms and that you have no contact with the victim. Thank you.
Your Honor, if the no contact with the victim would be the police. So normally in that case, they don't order a no contact because obviously if she needed help, she would need to call and we don't know who'd be called out. And if she was hostile with the police, they'd probably, handle that themselves.
I can see that, Your Honor. We don't need to do no contact. If the law enforcement was the victim, I was going to be asking for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And the last condition of no contact is removed. And the only remaining is no possession of any weapons or firearm. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next court date on demand.
Curtis D'Amico.
25,
I'm sorry.
25 CF 1941, PD approved.
Your Honor, Mr. D'Amico refused. I would waive his appearance and I do have a PC argument for him.
Mr. D'Amico's appearance has been waived by counsel on the record. Which charge or charges do you have a PC argument for, counsel?
It would actually be all of them. According to Baxter, within the 4 corners of the affidavit, the officer said he detected an odor of burnt cannabis emitting from the person. And he asked him if he possessed a medical marijuana card. And when he stated that he did not, he conducted a lawful search. Under Baxter v. Florida, the smell of marijuana And an individual not having a medical marijuana card is not a reason for a search. It's been found unlawful. Therefore, everything he found after that would be unlawful. And since probable cause is based off of the standard of a reasonable officer would not have conducted an unlawful search.
What's the case citation, please, for Baxter?
It's Baxter v. Florida. I don't have the citation right in front of me, Your Honor. It's been out for about 9 months to a year.
Thank you.
I would just respond. We're not on a motion to suppress, basically. The burden's a little different. Probable cause, reasonable objective standard of an officer. The officer said that basically that he smelled marijuana. He inquired if the defendant had a medical marijuana card, which is what Baxter talked about, because in that case, they didn't have any inquiry into a medical marijuana card. Here, there was no medical marijuana card. So it rises to a reasonable officer that illicit narcotics are present. So I would give argument that basically based on that, there was probable cause to conduct a search.
Your Honor, I would, if I may respond, in Baxter, the officer smelled marijuana, saw shake, if you want to call it that, in the car, and asked the individual if they had a medical marijuana card. And in Baxter, they said no, and the court found that that doesn't rise to probable cause and give officers the right to search. And it is not a motion, it would be argued in a motion to suppress, but it's also a probable cause argument about what a reasonable officer would do. And in order to search someone's car, you have to have probable cause. This officer did not. Or to search the individual, you have to have probable cause, and this officer didn't have probable cause, Your Honor.
Recalling, thank you. Abelardo Flores.
25 CT 2352, PD approved.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Lardo Flores, 09/18/1988.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Court appoints a public defender to represent you, sir. You're here on one charge of driving a vehicle while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Court does find probable cause based on the affidavit and stays bond at $2,000 with the condition that you not possess or use any alcohol or controlled substance without a valid prescription.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Next court date, July 3rd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B. If out on bond, July 21, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Kamani Hamilton.
25 MM 1532, PD approved.
Hello, my name is Kamani Hamilton.
And your name or your date of birth?
07/09/02.
Thank you.
And Your
Court
Honor.
appoints-
I'm sorry.
Court appoints a public defender to represent you. Go ahead, ma'am.
In this case here, the defendant just wanted to let you know that a lot of times we'll order a no return, but the individual here was moving out, and so we were just asking to maintain separate residences.
Thank you. All right, so you're here on one count of domestic violence battery. Based on the affidavit, the court does find probable cause. Sets bond at $750 with the following conditions: that you have no contact with the victim, Alicia Gonzalez, that you maintain separate residences, and that you not possess any weapons or firearm. Thank you.
Your Honor, he would like to know if he could have a third-party contact for the child.
Just got me.
I'm going to decline that at this point at IAs, but that can certainly be brought up at the trial judge, so it's without prejudice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Shanita Harris.
Next court date was on demand. 25 MM 1533, PD approved.
Your name and date of birth, ma'am?
Shantia Harris, 4489.
Thank you. Court appoints a public defender to represent you. Ma'am, you're here on one charge of petty theft. Court does find probable cause, stays bond at $500 with the condition that you not return to the Walmart at 2855 North Old Lake Wilson, and that you have no contact with any co-defendants, witnesses, or victims. Thank you.
have some of those.
Brianna Herrera.
25 CT 2353, PD approved.
Name and date of birth, ma'am?
Brianna Herrera, 8/22/93.
Court appoints the public defender to represent you. Ma'am, you're here on one charge of driving without a vehicle without a valid driver's license. The court does find probable cause and stays bond at 500.
Yes, ma'am.
Court also notes that at the time of the the alleged new law violation, we're out on probation in case 23 CF 2683. And the court makes an on-view determination based on the new law violation alleged a violation of probation, and therefore the probation is revoked in that case.
You mean the bond is revoked in the
I'm
probation?
so sorry. Yes, the bond is revoked and set at 0. Thank you for the clarification.
Next court date, July 3rd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Christian Lopez Fontanez.
25 CT 2354, PD approved.
Good afternoon. Name and date.
Christian Lopez Fontanes, March 3rd, 2003, 0303, 2003.
Thank you. Court appoints a public defender to represent you. You're here on one charge of failure to register a motor vehicle. Court does find probable cause based on the affidavit, stays bond at 500 with the condition that you not drive a vehicle without a valid tag and without a valid registration. Thank you.
Next court date, July 3rd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B, if out on bond. July 21, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Nalan Kumar Patel.
I have a PC argument for Mr. Patel, Your Honor.
25 CF 1949, PD approved.
Nalin Kumar Patel, March 11, 1958.
Thank you. Court appoints the public defender to represent you, sir. Go ahead with your PC argument, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor, it's just for the burglary to an occupied dwelling unarmed. From what I've read within the four corners of the affidavit, Mr. Patel entered their yard and stole mangoes out of a tree. So for a burglary to an occupied dwelling, the statute says that the dwelling must have a roof. And so we would ask that there be no PC found and that he be ROR'd on the burglary of an occupied dwelling, Your Honor.
Thank you. Counsel?
Your Honor, within the jury instructions of a burglary of an occupied dwelling, you have an enclosed structure such as a gated fence or anything like that, that becomes one of the structure. Thus, the affidavit entitles it basically that the backyard was fenced in. He entered a fenced-in yard, which basically, and took items basically, which qualifies as burglary of an unoccupied dwelling.
Your Honor, it's defined in the statute as having a roof. The dwelling must have a roof. There have been cases argued where if you entered in behind like say we were here and you entered in behind this, that would be a burglary of a dwelling, even though it doesn't have its individual roof. But you can't burglarize a dwelling that doesn't have a roof, and a gate around a yard is not a roofed dwelling.
One moment. Based on the review of the affidavit, court does not find probable causes to count one. So the ROR is to count one. The court does find probable cause as to count two, which is the petty theft.
Or I may be heard real quick briefly.
You may.
If you look at the definitions of the burglary statute, this would clearly fall under the curtilage, which basically is 8.810.011 subsection 2. If the curtilage is enclosed, it becomes part of the dwelling.
And Your Honor, when they say curtilage is enclosed, they normally mean that for porches, right? That's for a porch. That's not for your entire yard. Your entire yard is not curtilage because you put a fence up.
I would also quote State v. Hamilton, which is a Florida Supreme Court case, 660 Southern 2nd, 1038. What they were addressing was the yard was not enclosed in that manner, so therefore it did not meet the definition of curtilage. Here, Your Honor, we have the yard is encased in a fence, therefore it would meet the definition of curtilage.
Your Honor, if I just may read the definition of dwelling. It says dwelling means a building or conveyance of any kind, including any attached porch, whether such building or conveyance is temporary or permanent, mobile or immobile, which has a roof over it and is designed to be occupied by people lodging therein at night, together with the curtilage thereof. That's the definition, and the yard is not curtilage, Your Honor.
Thank you. The court does find probable causes to count two and sets bond as to count two at 500 with the following conditions. No contact with the victim or any witnesses, no return to the scene. I'm looking for the address, one moment. (5295) Park Drive, Kissimmee, Florida 34746. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, you're still finding no PC on count one?
I am finding no PC in count one.
Thank you,
Yes,
Your Honor.
thank you for the clarification.
Next court date on demand.
Juan Santana Rodriguez.
25 CF 1944, PD approved.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth, sir?
Juan Santana Rodriguez, 07-2399.
Court appoints the public defender to represent you. Sir, you're here on two charges. First is hindering with communication with law enforcement, and the second is criminal mischief. Court does find probable cause based on the affidavit for both and sets bond as to count one at 2,500 and count two at 2,500 for a total aggregate of 5,000 with the following conditions: that you not possess any weapons or firearms, that you have no contact with the victim, Jessica Santiago Quinones, and that you not return to the scene.
I have a question.
Counsel?
Your Honor, he says he was visiting when this happened and he would like to know if he can have a one-time return with law enforcement. She has his belongings and his vehicle at her house.
A one-time return with law enforcement to collect personal belongings is granted.
All right, understand? Yeah. With law enforcement, okay.
Next court date on demand.
Reddy Valson.
25 CF 1946, PD approved.
Grady Valsin, July 10, 1995.
Thank you. Court appoints a public defender to represent you. You're here on two charges. The first is possession of a controlled substance without a valid prescription, and the second is possession or use of drug paraphernalia. Court finds probable cause for both. sets bond as to count 1 at 2,500 and count 2 at 500 for a total aggregate of 3,000, with the condition that you not possess or use any controlled substance without a valid prescription. The court also notes that at the time of the alleged new law violations, you were out on bond in case 25 CF 4065. Makes an on-view probable cause determination that that was a violation of the terms of the bond, and therefore the bond in that case will be revoked and set at 0. Jonathan Vega.
2 cases, 25 CT 2358 and 25 CF 1947, PD approved.
And I have a PC argument for Mr. Vega, Your Honor.
All right, so your name and date of birth?
Jonathan Vega, 52507.
Thank you. Court appoints the public defender to represent you in both of the cases before the court. As to the first case, which is case 25 CT 2358, counsel, which charges in case are you referring to for a probable cause argument?
I'm sorry, yeah, just the 2 escape charges.
Okay. So as to 25 CT 2358, you're here on 1 charge of reckless driving with damage. Court does find probable cause and sets bond at 2,500. As to the second case, which is case 25 CF 1947, go ahead, counsel, with your probable cause argument as to 3 and 4.
Yes, Your Honor. So for the 2 charges of escape, according to the statute 944.40, it says any prisoner confined in or released, and then so on. It says, or being transported to or from a place of confinement who escapes or attempts to escape from such confinement, Your Honor. The individual was not being transported to or from a place of confinement. The officer says within the 4 corners of the affidavit that he was slipping his handcuffs while being transported to the patrol vehicle to later be transported to corrections. And then on the second charge, it said he slipped the handcuffs while a secondary search was conducted in order to be transported to corrections, Your Honor. And the way the statute reads and the way the legislator intended it was that if someone is in custody being transported to or place of confinement, the jail or prison, who then escapes, Your Honor, not someone who slips the cuffs from an officer and escapes his grasp.
Any response?
One moment, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Your Honor, the only thing I would argue is he was in custody and he attempted to escape confinement, which is basically one of the things that is covered. My argument would be being transported to, basically, right there in the statute. I would just call out they used or, they didn't use and. The legislator didn't put a constriction on it.
All right, sir. You're here on as to the second case, which is 25 CF 1947, 8 count. The first is resisting arrest without violence. The second is resisting arrest with violence. Court finds probable cause as to count 1 and stays bond at 500. Court finds probable cause as to count 2 and sets bond at 2,500. Court finds probable cause as to 3 and 4, which are two separate counts for escape. As to 3, the court sets bond at 1,000. As to 4, the court sets bond at 1,000. As to count 5, if you're charged with unlawful carry of a concealed weapon, the court does find probable cause and stays bond at 2,500. As to 6, the use or dispensing of weapons during a felony, the court finds probable cause and stays bond at 2,500. As to count 7, altering or removing a firearm serial number, the court finds probable cause and stays bond at 1,000. And as to count 8, battery on specified personnel, the court finds probable cause and sets bond at 2,500. For a total aggregate bond of 13,500. The court sets the following conditions of release: no possession of any weapons or firearm, no contact with any witnesses or co-defendants, and no return to the scene. Thank you.
That's your court dates right there. Yep. Oh, sorry for the last page right here. I gave Miss court dates.
Next court date, July 3rd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B. If out on bond, July 11, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E.
All right, recalling Paul Thomas Harris.
$25 MM 887, PD approved.
All right, your name and date of birth, sir?
Paul Harris, 788.
Court appoints a public defender to represent you. You were originally picked up on a bench warrant issued by Judge Janstevich. The court notes that has been recently recalled. And in light of that, the court is releasing you on your own reconnaissance to the ROR. Thank you.
Next court date, July 15, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Yes. We're going to take a quick recess. We'll be back in 5.